It is Wednesday, November 20th, 2019. It's 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and so you know what time it is. It's time for a little bit of coin metal. And it was a very fun get your ass kicked at Jiu-Jitsu Wednesday. Kicked some ass, kicked some ass, kicked some ass. I felt really, really good too. It was just one of those days, man. The stars were fucking aligned, and I felt like, I would say like 0.15% ahead of my teammate in sparring today. Not like, prescient or anything like that, but like I could start to feel the pressure a little bit better today. And I think it was due to what the instructor was saying. He's talking a lot about, we tend to really go aggressive with pressure and stuff instead of playing a more defensive game and trying to see it unfold, see how it will express. And I always have trouble with that. That's like the biggest issue with me, and it's something of the wanting to be here now kind of thing, and being in the moment. And it's a wonderful desire, it's a wonderful objective and whatnot, trying to stay in the moment. But invariably, I end up finding myself going, either trying to go ahead, but like I end up coming a little bit out of the moment. Like I kind of lost my focus a couple times today. But all told, I rolled with this one guy, and we started off from I want to say it was I was in his guard, and basically I got him. I did not let him up. I got into a full mount position twice. I prepped him for a submission probably 6, maybe 7 times, and I missed the opportunity for that armbar. But I caught myself in the fucking habit that the instructor was talking about, where I was trying to put too much of my own thing on it. And at first I tried to open up. I really tried to relax. I really tried to let go and let him go with it. But I felt like I had to initiate something, because I don't know. I felt like I had to initiate the event. And so, like I said, I did a couple of sweeps today, man, that were just... I need to start recording, man. I need to start like setting up some GoPro cameras or something, like in the dojo, and just to try and capture some of the stuff I'm doing, because I've been catching stuff that I know that I could potentially systematize and probably make like real moves for me to do. You know what I mean? Like things that I have as a tool available, a regular tool available. And just, I talk about it a lot on this show, but it's just shifting a little bit of pressure. Moving your hips here, moving your hips over, trying to bring your hips up towards your shoulders, trying to move your shoulders a little bit. When you're in the position, what do I have to disengage first in order to get out of this position? And in getting out of this position, what's available to me to work forward to potentially submit my opponent. And it's just that got me on to choking my opponent today. I got a really good lapel choke in, although I should have been pulling him toward me and I was pushing him away. It was not really the right way to do it, but it was a zipper choke. So, but yeah, it would have been better to like pull him in tight and then pull it down. But nonetheless, I got the choke, yeah, and I don't know. Like I said, I got in. I had a really dominant mentality and capability today. It seemed like even in the points where I started in a position where it was on my back, I was still able to get my opponent down and on their back relatively easily. And I don't know if that would happen in Jiu-Jitsu 2 or not. I don't think so, honestly. But I'm feeling like I need to be doing more of the Jiu-Jitsu 2 classes because, as much as I'm pushed in Jiu-Jitsu 1, I feel like I can go harder, and they do go harder in Jiu-Jitsu 2. So, it's one of those things where every time I go to Jiu-Jitsu 2, it's like a hit in the gut kind of, because the rest of the week I'm not training at that intensity, and so it's like I go through the other days and then I go to that day and it's like a normal day, like plus 0.5% more, like a half more, like 50% more, and so like I said, it's always a hit in the gut, and then when I go back there, I feel like I'm always starting over again, and I think that's really what's behind that feeling that I was talking about the other day on Monday, where I feel like I'm starting over always. Is I keep forgetting that's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 2. That's not Jiu-Jitsu 1, that's Jiu-Jitsu 2. It's in the same time slot as the Jiu-Jitsu 1 classes I take during the rest of the week, but it's actually Jiu-Jitsu 2. So yeah, I'm going to have to bump it up a notch. I feel like I'm ready. I feel like I'm more capable now, and it's a good position to be in. I felt in really good control as far as my body and the way I was working, and the amount of effort that I was putting toward it. I don't know. I'm not exactly the fastest guy in the world, so I have to think a little bit ahead of my opponent, or try to at least, or try to think at least a little bit ahead of my current position. And so, yeah, it's always been an issue for me, concentration, that is, and so I think Jiu-Jitsu's been driving that in me more than anything. Is the self-reflection, it's like, okay, how do I get out of this position? What do I need to get out of first? Because you can overreact to a situation and put yourself in an even worse situation than you were in originally. And so, it's like, do I need to lift this foot first, so I can get my hip out from under it and get this person off my back? What exactly do I have to disengage first? After I've got that disengaged, what's number 2? What's number 3? What's the move that I'm working toward? Yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and throw down some music. And as far as where to go, we're going to body count, because that's what we do. And I haven't played this one before, so here it is. First Dance, Necessary Evil, body count, here on Coin Metal. And that was Voivod with The End of Dormancy. I swear, man, the regular media has people so fucking spun. This guy I encountered on Facebook, he's trying to turn this whole fucking Trump thing into some major constitutional violation that, Trump somehow is like fucking with the person. No. That had absolutely nothing to do with the fucking thing that was going on. For one thing, I don't even think the fucking funding was denied. I'm gonna get back to this. Back to you later. I am live right now. Alright. There we go. Took care of that guy. Oi! So, as far as what we're going to get into today, it's funny, man. I've commented on this before, but ever since I've had my Twitter feed cut off, I've had to hunt for shit to talk about on the show. And fortunately for me, that was already a thing. I was already doing that before, so it wasn't anything really new. I mean, Google still finds the word Bitcoin and still finds stuff associated with it that may or may not be newsworthy. But nonetheless, it gives us the opportunity to dig around a little bit and find stuff that we want to talk about. And as a matter of fact, I did come across one thing today, and I thought this was kind of interesting because we were talking about privacy coins. It was either earlier this week or later last week. I'm not entirely sure. But this one's on arstechnica.com. Official Monero website is hacked to deliver currency-stealing malware. GetMonero.org delivers Linux and Windows binaries that steal users' funds. I'm willing to bet that the hack is actually Monero's GitHub, and that none other than Microsoft is behind it. But that, people forget, man. Most people that are involved in cryptocurrencies were not even alive when Microsoft was pulling their biggest shit. I mean, most of the stuff they do now, they get away with because of government contracts and shit like that. But no, a long time ago, back when Netscape was a browser, there was an issue where Microsoft was bundling Internet Explorer, mandatory default browser, in their operating system. You didn't have a choice between which browser you wanted to use. Windows says you use Internet Explorer. So they had to go to court with Netscape. Yeah, it was Netscape. Whoever the company was, I'm not entirely sure. But they went to court with them over it. And basically it is the reason why today you have the option to use whatever fucking browser you want. And so anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Damn it, Jim. Anyway, this is by Dan Gooden, or Godden? Yeah, Gooden. And it was authored the 19th of November 2019, so yesterday at 6:19 p.m. The official site for Monero digital coins was hacked to deliver currency-stealing malware. Oh, that's what it was. Microsoft's fuckery. Look it up on Wikipedia if you doubt it. Microsoft has done some shit, and now they just buy the companies that they want to do shit to. Instead of stealing their shit and risking litigation, they just buy them out. Anyway, continuing on. The official site for the Monero digital coin was hacked to deliver currency-stealing malware to users who were downloading wallet software, officials with Get Monero said on Tuesday. The supply chain... Oh, and yes, penis. The supply chain attack came to light on Monday when a site user reported that the cryptographic hash for a command line interface wallet downloaded from the site didn't match the hash listed on the page. Over the next several hours, users discovered that the mismatching hash wasn't the result of an error. Instead, it was an attack designed to infect Get Monero's users with malware. Site officials later confirmed that finding. Quote, "It is strongly recommended to anyone who downloaded the CLI wallet from this website between Monday 18th 2:30 a.m. UTC and 4:30 p.m. UTC to check the hashes of their binaries," Get Monero officials wrote, and they gave us a link. Cool. If they don't match the official ones, delete the files and download them again. Do not run the compressed binaries for any reason. An analysis of the malicious Linux binary found that it added a few new functions to the legitimate one. One of the functions was called after a user opened or created a new wallet. It sent the wallet seed, which is the cryptographic secret used to access wallet funds, to a server located at node.hashmonero.com. The Monero then sent wallet funds to the servers located at node.xmrsupport.co and 45.9.148.65. The malicious Windows version of the CLI wallet carried out an almost identical attack sequence. At least one person participating in the Reddit forum claimed to have lost digital coins after installing the malicious Linux binary. Quote, roughly 9 hours after I ran the binary, a single transaction drained my wallet of all $7,000, the person wrote. I downloaded the build yesterday around 6 p.m. Pacific time. The user said at the time that it wasn't clear if the malware carried out the other nefarious actions on the computer itself. The person made a copy of the malware available for download so that researchers can analyze the code. Under no circumstances should people run this binary on anything other than a test machine that has no access to cryptocurrency wallets. Get Monero's advisory didn't say the site was compromised or if the vulnerabilities that led to the hack had been fixed. Users should stay apprised of this breach in the coming days. In the meantime, people who want to verify the authenticity of their Monero CLI software can check here for Windows or here for more advanced users of Windows, Linux, or Mac OS. The incident is a graphic reminder of why it's crucial to check summaries before installing the software. The links in the paragraph above this one explain how to do that. And we can do that. And yeah, that seems to be it on that one. Very, very interesting. Ooh. And that's another one. Might have to follow that one up too. No. Okay. So, yeah. And this one is the warning directly from web.getmonero.org. Warning. The binaries of the CLI wallet were compromised for a short time, and this is published by Scision, my apologies. This is authored November 19th, 2019. Oh, and there it is. There it is. I fucking predicted it. Yesterday, a GitHub issue about mismatching hashes came from this website. Was opened. Let's see here. We're going to click on that link. A quick investigation found that the binaries of the CLI wallet had been compromised and a malicious version was being served. The problem was immediately fixed, which means the compromised files were online for a very short amount of time. The binaries are now served from another safe source. See the Reddit post by core team member Binary Fate. And we will follow that up as well. It is strongly recommended to anyone who downloaded the CLI wallets from this website between Monday, November 18th at 2:30 a.m. UTC and 4:30 p.m. UTC to check the hashes of their binaries. If they do not match the official ones, delete the files and download them again. Do not run the compromised binaries for any reasons. We have 2 guides available to help users check the authenticity of their binaries, verify binaries on Windows Beginner, verify binaries on Linux, Mac, or Windows Command Line Advanced. Signed hashes can be found here. The situation is being investigated and updates will be provided soon. Can't wait to see what their Reddit looks like. Now let's see here. Just looking at their GitHub site. And yeah, you know, I talked about this before, that this stuff, let's see, no one has been assigned to it, no labels as of yet, no projects not yet, milestone, no milestone. They probably just changed the location of the binaries. But yeah, I've mentioned this a couple times before on this show, how there have been several issues since GitHub was acquired by Microsoft. And I don't think there's there's any kind of mystery here. Personally, I believe that there are individuals either working for Microsoft with Microsoft's knowledge and intent to compromise other projects within GitHub, or they are Microsoft employees that are in charge of managing the GitHub repo that are doing this. I mean, it's not a fucking mystery to me. They buy GitHub, all of a sudden we're having GitHub issues where people are putting up pull requests and putting up like additions and whatnot, potential additions or upgrades and whatnot on GitHub, and the shit works. I mean, you gotta understand that Monero has a team of people that works on their software. All of the wallet software and all that shit, they've got a team of people that works on it. Now, they're probably not actually paid people. They're probably volunteers. But nonetheless, they have a team that manages their fucking GitHub repo. So, what I'm getting at here is, in order for somebody to do this level of attack, they would have to have a relatively intimate knowledge of Monero's software. And that leaves only a certain number of players available to account for the possibility of being the compromiser here. You know, I mean, whoever it is, they probably have a GitHub account. You know, because that seems to be the vector of attack here. And I've warned you guys about that too, that you should have alternate download locations other than GitHub for your software. You know, mirror it to other places. Do not depend solely on GitHub. Because again, I think that they are a vector for attack, either by social engineers compromising them or by their own employees compromising your shit from inside. I don't know. But I will say this, it will be one of those options that when it comes down to it, we are going to find out that there is somebody who's either working for Microsoft directly or working for GitHub who wasn't there before the Microsoft acquisition and has been pulling this shit. We are going to find that. And so far I've been pretty correct about a lot of these things that I predict on this show. I'm amazed that more people haven't picked up on it. But yeah, if you are into Monero and you do have a wallet, you might want to be checking your binaries and checking your hashes, because we're talking about your money here, kids. Your money. I don't care if you're keeping it in Monero or Bitcoin or Litecoin or whatever. I want you to keep your money unless you intend to spend it, you know? Anyway, so yeah, security breaches in the binaries on GitHub. Let's see here. I'm just looking at some of the comments, and apparently there's like 285. Wow. Let's see here. Malicious builds. People are very, very keen on trying to find out about the malicious builds so they can study them. Let's see. This is really dangerous. Is there a way to know how many people downloaded the compromised binaries? Unless it was tampered with, what would almost surely be in the logs. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, they would be able to check the GitHub logs to find out how many people downloaded the compromised software. That'd probably be a good thing. Let's see. Why host the hashes in the same places as the binaries? If the server has been compromised, then the attacker could just update the hashes. Fluffy Pony ZA. I'm assuming that's Fluffy Pony. The binaries are also on GitHub, and the hashes are also on our self-hosted GitLab. There's enough distribution, but it doesn't help if nobody checks their downloaded hash. That's correct. You got to be checking your shit. You know, if you're not bothering to check it out. Let's see here. We got that one. Yeah, this is something you always have to watch out for. You know, I say it on every show. Watch out for your own bunghole, because nobody else is going to do it for you. You know, Angus Canine says, shit, fuck, shit. Yeah, that's what I say when that's happening. Let's see, XMR Scott says, brain fart while running until the manner in which the malicious file was uploaded is ascertained or someone on the core team with access to the servers, like Fluffy Pony, gives the all clear. It may be best to avoid Get Monero website altogether, given that there is a risk of it happening again. Goddamn right. Goddamn right. Thank you, XMR Scott. Edit, even though the web server and download server are separate systems, the backup download server could be compromised via the same method they used the first time, resulting in a game of whack-a-malicious-mole until method found, fully patched, passwords recycled, etc. Yeah, absolutely, XMR Scott. If you're listening, damn right. Let's see, John F3N, he responded, all sites should be treated with a degree of caution. We do our best, but the web was not built for security, and it's just a game of whack-a-mole. Helps a bit to get end-to-end verification. Gideon builds help decentralize the trust away from Fluffy, so we crowdsource the correct build hashes. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, here we go. Now we get down to it. Moo_Cheeser says, it would be cool if someone did some analysis of the web server and could publish details of how it was compromised. We would gain understanding of what we were up against and if it was just left with an unpatched vulnerability. Goddamn right. That's absolutely correct, man. Let's see here. Oh shit. Here we go. Cars Needs F2P says, if I made a script that just downloaded the binary of getmonero.org every 5 minutes and verified the signature, would that be helpful or more annoying? Knife of Pi 2 says, I'm going to do this as well in the next few days and hook it up with a Reddit bot to auto post and a pre-made warning. There we go. Now you're starting to think a little bit preventatively. That would be good, especially given the situation. Let's see here. Keytrix 17, I guess. No, Keytrix says, I assume a state-financed hacker could detect and route your download requests to an unmodified client while still serving other users with an alternative source. A tool like this would create a false sense of security. Wouldn't even need to compromise the specific server. Man in the middle. God damn it, I was hoping that was going to continue the thread. Oh shit. I'm going to start this one again because this is keen. This guy's got his head on right. I assume the state-financed hacker could detect and route your download requests to an unmodified client while still serving other users with an alternative source. A tool like this would create a false sense of security. Wouldn't even need to compromise the specific server. Man-in-the-middle attacks are easy when you have full control of ISPs. Goddamn right. Let's see. XMR Scott says again, it would be useful health check IMO, in my opinion, although it begs the question which CLI is bugged, or is it all OSs? Edit, it looks like at least the Linux one. Yeah. MU Cheesier said, better yet, why not write a script for each OS that does the GPG verification for Fluffy's key against what he posts alongside the downloads? Then people without knowledge of how GPG verify a block of text with the hashes printed inside it can verify that Fluffy signed it. It's a bit more challenging to verify a block of GPG signed text, and in the early days, I would just hash the tarball, but doing the whole message and then hashing the tarball is much more thorough. Wow. Yeah, that's a little bit of overkill, bro. just a teeny tiny. I mean, it might be necessary, but I don't know. I don't know that it's quite that founded. Let's see. See if there's anything of material here. Binaries are affected. Yes. Use a full node. Verify the hashes. Floss your teeth daily. That was Fluffy_Doggy. And John F3N says, use GPG SIGs and Gideon builds to verify you have the correct hashes as well. Yes, indeed. Spartan 3123 says, if you used a Trezor against the malicious node, would you be safe? Knife of Pi 2 says, yes, physical action on the HW wallet is required in order to send coins, so you would be safe. Yeah, that might be a decent way to go about it. Let's see here. Ors Needs F2P says, or maybe that's Osiris Needs F2P? I don't know. Number one, do reproducible builds give us more options to prevent these kinds of things in any way? Number two, probably more importantly, how did this happen? What did the attacker need to pull this off? Goddamn right. And also, can you add your OP about what the correct hash should have been as well? Let's see. Fish Face Cakes says reproducible builds would help, but so does simply checking hashes / signatures, smiley face. Binary Fate says correct hashes are here, gives us a nice little URL we can go to. Check the signatures. Let's see here. Let's see if there's anything more material. Yeah, so, one thing to keep in mind on this, when you see something like this happen with any coin project that you're involved in, and it doesn't matter if you're just a user or you're a miner or whatever, whenever you see an issue show up on your Twitter feed or whatever, it helps to look further. Find out from their communities. So look up their IRC channel, look up their Discord channel, look up their other channels, their Slack, whatever, and check it out. See what the level of activity is. This is 2 days ago, but I mean, the amount of threads and people that are responding to this is voluminous. It tells me that there's a lot of people involved, a lot of people paying attention, and that's a good thing. It shows that the community itself is very active and very intent on keeping their network and their coin healthy. And that again is a kind of a little bit of a trust marker. You can't believe everything you see, but that you can notice the difference between organic traffic and fucking astroturfed shit. If you've been paying attention, you can anyway. But the point being is, by looking at that activity, you can tell, is this a living coin, or is this, something that people are just bouncing around on an exchange and not actually doing anything with, Anyway, let's go ahead and throw back down into some music. And we played a lot of really good stuff last time around. Didn't leave us too many places to go here. I think Around the Turn. I've been wanting to play it. Wayne Static, Around the Turn, here on Coin Metal. And that was Static X with Machine. Yeah, kind of let it run a little bit longer than I would have normally, but needed to get a little smoke break in, and these things happen. Anyway, so we've disclosed that Monero has had an issue. Personally, I think that they need to follow up with their GitHub accounts, where the binaries are hosted. They need to be reviewing who has access to them and whose information was used in order to make the make the pull request. And of course, this is assuming that that level of access was actually required in order to do it. You know, it could have just been some user said pull request, bam. So anyway, I think that it's going to be interesting, but that's really where they need to be looking. You know, I think they're kind of fucking around with this whole idea of a man-in-the-middle attack. The man-in-the-middle is fucking GitHub. Sorry. They are the common source, or the common factor, I would say, in probably 95% of all of the hack informations that I've read. There's always related some sort of fucking thing about, oh, their GitHub account just been accessed and somebody shit got social engineered, and yeah. You know, I think people keep forgetting. This is fucking money we're talking about, kids. Money. People want to steal your money. That doesn't change just because it's in a different form. They're going to try and figure out a way to steal your fucking money. That's it. And there's more surfaces to be concerned with regard to maintaining the security of your funds when we're talking about cryptocurrency. And of course, no, there is no FDIC that's going to get that guy his $7,000 worth of fucking Monero back. Sorry, bro. You know, maybe you should have checked the hashes before you downloaded the new wallet. I don't know. You know, it's one of those things that you will run into, I will run into, everyone will run into this. Just a matter of time. You know, but when you do, you learn how to deal with it. And I think this is probably the biggest lesson that people miss with cryptocurrencies. Okay, is that your immune system didn't come out of the box knowing how to deal with every fucking pathogen in your environment. It had to be tested by every pathogen in your environment. The fact that you are still alive right now is indicating that they are more successful than not. That is what's going on here in cryptocurrencies. And the fact of the matter is that it's never been a different way. It's never been a different way. It's always been this way. Somebody's always been trying to steal resources from you that they themselves were not willing to earn. That's nature, man. It's fucking nature. And that what is the saddest about it occurring in humans, though, is the level of capability that each one of us actually has. Despite whatever insecurities you may have about your capability or your abilities against other people, you know shit that other people don't know. You can do things that nobody else can do. Your perspective is unique in this universe. It is unique to you. And it's something else to keep in mind there. It is only happening in your head. You know, you might be hearing me and I might have an idea of what I'm saying, but you've got an entirely different perspective in the universe, and so the return in your senses of what I'm saying is an entirely different shape, to some extent, I would say, than what I believe I am conveying. And this is just reality, okay? It's the imperfection of communication that we have available to us. But yeah, watch out for your butt. And so, let's go. We've got some more stuff here. And this, I think we have already covered this one enough. I found another thread concerning the this whole wallet business. I'm trying to find out if there's more details known so far about, like, who the owners are of the URLs where these wallets are, or where the funds are supposedly going to be sent. The addresses are known by somebody. They have to be, because like one of them is a URL. But nonetheless, somebody knows that shit. And again, that would be the kind of route that you would want to investigate if you want to find out exactly who is doing this and how much they've gotten away with. Let's see if there's anything else here. Remove the latest binaries. I'm going through a list of recommendations here, and I guess we could read it. Might give us a little more in-depth information about what exactly to be mitigating, what to be looking for, so on and so forth, if in fact you have been infected with this. But I think this stuff is productive to listen to and read only because these same issues can happen in other cryptocurrencies. Not only that, if you're designing a cryptocurrency, this might be something that you want to watch out for. Sorry. And this is on bartblaze.blogspot.com. And this is authored Tuesday, November 19th, 2019. Monero download site and binaries compromised. Introduction. Earlier this evening, I saw a tweet appear which claimed Monero had been hacked and a malicious binary, instead of the real one, has been served. And this is a tweet by dark.fail warning Monero users, if you downloaded the Monero in the past 24 hours, you may have installed malware. Monero's official website served compromised binaries for at least 30 minutes during the past 24 hours. Investigations are ongoing. Let's see. Post on Reddit. Get it issue. And Linux binary. Thanks to user Nicotasis. Yeah, Nicotasis. I was able to retrieve the malicious binary. I actually found it. Good deal. Issue comment 555511805. This binary is an ELF file with the following properties. And I'm not going to read all of them. Type ELF, magic ELF, 64-bit LSB, shared object, x86 64 version, GNU Linux, dynamically linked, users shared libs for GNU/Linux 3.2.0 from X, not stripped. File size is 27.63 megabytes. When comparing the legitimate file and this ELF file, we notice that the file is different and a few functions have been added. Let's see, crypto note simple underscore wallet send underscore seed. This function is immediately called after either opening or creating a new wallet, as can be seen in figure 1 and 2 below, and we're not reading that. The seed will be sent to node.hashmonero.com. Okay, and crypto note simple underscore wallet send underscore to underscore cc. As you may have guessed, this function will send data off to the CC or C2 command and control server. This will be the stolen funds. Sending funds to the C2 is handed off using HTTP post request to the following C2 servers: node.xmrsupport.co and 45. It's an IP address here: 45.9.148.65. As far as I can see, it doesn't seem to create any additional files or folders. It simply steals your seed and attempts to exfiltrate your funds from your wallet. Windows binary. The C2 server is 45.9.148.65. Also hosts a Windows binary with the following properties, and it gives us the same information. I'll just say the file size is 65.14 megabytes. The Windows version is essentially doing the same thing as the Linux version, stealing your seed and wallet funds. The function names are just different. and it's ergo underscore Z910 crypto note 13 simple underscore wallet 9 sen underscore seed ERKN4E PEE 15 W wipeable underscore string E. Note, this doesn't mean the official Windows binary was also compromised. It simply means there's also a compromised Windows binary out there. Only the Monero team can confirm if other binaries, besides the Linux one mentioned in this blog, have been compromised. Detection. If you have a firewall or proxy, whether hardware or software, verify if you had any network traffic or connections to node.hashmonero.com, node.xmrsupport.co, 45.9.148.65, or 91.210.104.245. Those are two IP addresses. Remove all the binaries listed in this blog post. Verify that the hashes of your Monero setup or installer file. Guides to do that are here. Let's see. Verify the hashes of your Monero setup or installer file. Note, what is a hash? A hash is a unique identifier. This can be for a file, a word. It is preferred to use SHA-256 hashes for file integration checks. You may also use the following Yara rule to detect the malicious or compromised binaries. And it's got a link here to download Yara, and the documentation is available there. Recommendations: install an antivirus, and if possible use a firewall. Free or paid is of less importance. If you already use an antivirus, it may be a good idea not to exclude a specific folder in your antivirus when using Monero or other miners, and if needed, only do so after the hashes have been verified. In other words, verify the hashes on the wallet before you put any funds in it. How to restore your account, and gives us a link for that. Recovering wallet using the mnemonic seed, gives us that. Monitor your account/wallet for the next days and verify there have been no fraudulent transactions. Contact the Monero team for support. Note, especially go through the steps if at any point you downloaded, used, or installed new binaries between these dates. Monday 18th, 1:03 a.m. UTC and 5:30 p.m. UTC. Download the latest version from web.getmonero.org/downloads. The Monero team statement, let's see. Give us that. It gave us that. The Monero team has issued a statement as follows: warning, the binaries of the CLI wallet were compromised for a short time. I expect this statement to be updated in the following days, so monitor it as well. There we go. Conclusion. Monero is not the first, nor will it likely be the last cryptocurrency, in this case its website and binaries, that gets compromised. Following the steps in this blog post to protect yourself, and always watch your online accounts closely, especially those where you have financially invested in. Use strong passwords. Use MFA or 2FA where possible, and always be vigilant. Verify hashes when a new version is available. Note, this blog post is not intended to be a full analysis, but rather a quick report on the facts, including recommendations, questionnaire feedback. Yeah, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. I appreciate that. Again, it's not enough that there's just the security team, or there are other people that are concerned about it that are weighing in. You've got other people putting up their own blogs about it. Again, this is an indication of a healthy community. That they're definitely healthy and involved and concerned, and that's really what's going to count and what's going to get us through all of this shit. Is caring enough to communicate, caring enough to keep abreast about the developments in the coin that we're holding. This is important stuff. Anyway, but continuing on to stuff that's similar in nature, because again, as the blog post indicated, Monero is not the first, nor will it be the last victim of this type of hack or compromise. Google Play caught hosting an app that steals users' cryptocurrency. And this is on arstechnica.com. Clipper app replaced users' wallet addresses with addresses controlled by developers. Oh, lovely. This is by Dan Gooden, and this is authored a while ago. Actually, I don't know that we're... Yeah, let's go for it. It's similar, and we didn't cover it before. This is on September 2nd, 2019. Or February 9th. It depends on how they arrange it. Anyway, we'll go for it. It was this year. And yes, penis. Google Play has been caught hosting yet another malicious app, this time one that was designed to steal cryptocurrency from unwitting end users, researchers said Friday. The malware, which masqueraded as a legitimate cryptocurrency app, worked by replacing wallet addresses copied into the Android clipboard with one belonging to attackers, a researcher with ESET said in a blog post. As a result, people who were intending to use the app to transfer digital coins into a wallet of their choosing would instead deposit the funds into a wallet belonging to the attackers. The so-called Clipper malware has targeted Windows users since at least 2017. Last year, a botnet known as Satori was updated to infect coin mining computers with malware that similarly changed wallet addresses. Last August came word of an Android-based Clipper malware that was distributed in third-party marketplaces. The Clipper malware available in Google Play impersonated a service called MetaMask, which is designed to allow browsers to run apps that work with the digital coin Ethereum. The primary purpose of Android/Clipper.c, as he has dubbed the malware, was to steal the credentials needed to gain control of Ethereum funds. It also replaced both Bitcoin and Ethereum wallet addresses copied to the clipboard with ones belonging to the attackers. MetaMask is... let's see here. This attack targets users who want to use the mobile version of the MetaMask service, which is designed to run Ethereum decentralized apps in a browser without having to run a full Ethereum node. However, the service currently does not offer a mobile app, only add-ons for desktop browsers such as Chrome and Firefox. Several malicious apps have been caught previously on Google Play impersonating MetaMask. However, they merely fished for sensitive information with the goal of accessing the victim's cryptocurrency funds. ESET spotted the app shortly after its introduction to Google Play on February 1st. Okay, so this is February 9th. Google has since removed it. Stefanko said it's the first time Clipper malware has been hosted in the Android app Bazaar. A MetaMask official said that his company sent Google a legal takedown request. The official also said that the company is working on an official MetaMask mobile app that will be announced on the company's blog when ready. The discovery is yet more evidence that Google can't be trusted to proactively keep malware out of play. That leaves the onus on end users. People should limit the number of apps they install, and then only after doing a fair amount of research. One way to check the legitimacy of an app is to independently visit the site of the outfit that purportedly developed the app. The official MetaMask website makes no mention of an Android app. That should have been a red flag that Google Play was offering an imposter. It's not a bad idea to read user comments and stick with apps with at least 100,000 downloads. Although this practice, at least in its own, is no guarantee against downloading malicious titles. Yeah, there could be a bunch of fucking idiots out there, and you just happen to be one of them. Hey, man, we all get caught. Every once in a while you get caught. And you know, when you get caught, what it teaches you is the little lesson that you messed up on. And it's not just pertaining to cryptocurrencies. Anything is like that. You know, what bothers me is that people think that there's somehow some way to guarantee you against this, and they can't. They cannot. All you can do is lower the probability. That is all you can do. Yeah. So yeah. Bunch of shit. But yeah, let's get into something else. It's kind of connected in a way. Kind of offhand. You know, I mean, given the fact that this shit is going on out there, right? You have something else going on too. And this is on Crypto Markets News. CFTC chairman voices opinion on fintech and cryptocurrency regulation. Will U.S. authorities become more lenient? No. They don't have any choice. This is authored on 11/20/2019 at 9/17/28. God damn, down to the second. Still doesn't tell us the fucking time zone. Thanks a lot, Jonathan Ganner. But yes, penis. The relations between regulators and cryptocurrencies has been a bit of a shaky one at best. ICOs have been banned by the SEC back in 2018. The IRS has been clamping down on cryptocurrency traders, and smaller altcoins face the risk of being banned. I'm going to have to right-click on that one. Many exchanges are either releasing a dedicated U.S. version to comply with regulators like Binance. Others chose to close their gates to the U.S. clients like Poloniex. Things might change, however. The chairman of the CFTC, Heath Tarbert, posted an op-ed piece in Fortune and the CFTC press release section. Fintech regulation needs more principles, not more rules. In what can be seen as a bit of a long-winded article, Tarbert outlines his opinions on regulations, fintech, and cryptocurrencies. His opinion, which echoes throughout the article, is more effective and accurate laws are required, not more laws. Quote, a more principled approach can help reduce the need for volumes of regulation that seek to dictate every aspect of a firm's behavior. As Winston Churchill put it, quote, if you make 10,000 regulations, you destroy all respect for the law. Yet, Titles 12 and 17 of the U.S. Code of Federal Regulations, which together cover banking, securities, and derivatives regulation, now total over 13,000 pages. It seems that the CFTC chairman understands that the sheer amount of laws and regulations is ineffective. He later goes on to state that strong core principles are a better way to govern. Quote, but overall, CFTC staff is currently considering how the core principles applicable to exchanges, avenues where derivatives trades are executed, and clearinghouses, entities that take on and manage the post-trade counterparty credit risk, can be better tailored for fintech. For instance, core principles have been central to our evaluation of clearinghouses that would clear derivatives resulting in delivery of Bitcoin. Digital assets face the unique operational risk of a systems hack that could result in loss or theft. Our core principles include a requirement that clearinghouses have systems to identify and minimize operational risk. The CFTC does not have formulaic prescriptive rules laying out what systems are required. The agency also does not spell out how operational risks must be allocated between clearinghouses and its members and customers. Yet, derivatives clearinghouses are anything but lightly regulated. Is the CFTC changing its tune? It appears that a more principled approach might benefit the cryptocurrency industry. The massive number of rules, regulations, and red tape required to open a cryptocurrency-related business in the United States could be halting progress. Duh! All things considered, this is good news for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Yes, it is. It's basically an admittance that they have absolutely no fucking business telling you how to delegate authority, who should be accepting risk. They do not have any call in this matter. If you want to buy Dogecoin, that's your fucking business. If you want to mine Dogecoin, that is your fucking business. That's not their business to dictate to you. It's not anybody else's business to dictate to you. You know, and the idea that you're somehow going to ban that is so fucking silly. We can't even stop people doing it as a crime. And when it does happen, we do what we can to eliminate the criminal element. But we do that as an aspect of self-interest. And it has absolutely nothing to do with fucking regulation. Monero could give a fuck, I think, about regulation with regard to the effectiveness and the quality of their software. That's on them. That's on them to show us. And it is up to us, if we do want to participate in Monero, to do so. You know, get into it. Do not expect that the CFTC is out there in Fluffy Pony's ear saying, hey, you got to shape this up because it doesn't fit the federal guidelines for what's an acceptable currency. That's not their fucking call. They have no fucking business in it. And so, again, the idea that they have any place regulating anything in cryptocurrencies, it's fucking ridiculous. We do not have them to rely on. And it doesn't matter how much they bloviate and fucking jump up and down. It doesn't matter. They could be mining Monero. It's still not up to them to tell you how to value it. Or how Monero should operate. All they can do is, if they are participating as miners, they can enforce certain rules on their miners. Now, whether or not the rest of the miners on the network choose to go along, that's an entirely different thing. And this is where the aspect of people bitching about ASICs bugs me. Because I want my next door neighbor to have the ASICs bazooka there to keep that network live. I want to be hosting some of those ASICs to be defending the network and keeping it live. Why? Because it's in my interest to do so. It is in my financial interest to do so. It's not up to the CFTC, it's not up to the FDIC, it's not up to the IRS, it's not up to the State Department, the Pentagon, or the President himself. It's up to me. It's up to you. So yeah, this is another aspect where, you know, the people that are observing what's going on in cryptocurrencies are pointing in at it and saying, you know, this is supposed to go along. No, man. You're watching a race that you're not participating in. You want to have something to say in the race? Put your fucking dick on the table and let's get to chopping. You're going to face the same risks that we do, both in operations and the validity of our funds and all that. But it's a race. We don't know who's going to win. That's the wonderful thing about it. You know, there's the likelihood that it's not going to be us. There's statistical likelihoods that we may do better in other races. But there is a race out there somewhere that we can competitively run in, drunk or not. And that option is available to us. And again, it's not up to the SEC, it's not up to the CFTC, it's not anybody else's call on whether or not where you dedicate your hashing power, your electricity, and your bandwidth is going to affect a network. It's not up to them. But they sure talk like it. They do talk like it is something within the FTC's bag of tricks that they can whip out some sort of regulatory model that you're going to look at every time you decide that you want to write up an improvement proposal for a cryptocurrency. That hasn't happened, to my knowledge, unless we're talking about something like federal security software or some shit like that. I don't believe there is anything out there that has more than general guidelines and principles that are set up by the company that you're writing software for. At one point or another, Google had "Don't be evil" as their motto, as if that is absolutely necessary to indicate to people as no, we're not going to be evil. But at one point or another, we did believe such claims, and then they went evil, and that all changed. But that's beside the point. They took the "Don't be evil" off, and in that way, they're no longer responsible for having to maintain that standard. But yeah, things change, And so again, the idea that these guys can have it within their capability to do what we're doing outside of their authority it's laughable. It is laughable. Again, if they want to participate, that's what mining is for. Let me see if there's anything else here. That one's a little bit old. It's June 17th. I don't think I'm going to give it any wind, because so far we haven't seen this. It's will U.S. regulations stifle alts? And the answer to that question is no. Because we're still here, so. But anyway, I did look up the CFTC.gov opinion piece here, and I think that's kind of worthy to get into. It's the meat of the issue. Here we go. This is FinTech regulation needs more principles, not more rules. Op-ed by Chairman, and that's important. This is an opinion, not an actual law or anything like that. An opinion piece. These are exciting times for. This is by. Let's see. Chairman Tarbert featured in Fortune. Okay, so I guess this was featured somewhere. These are exciting times for our derivative markets, from blockchain to digital assets. Innovative financial technologies are changing the way derivative markets work. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission has an important role to play in determining how these new products and technologies evolve. Our mission is to promote the integrity, resilience, and vibrancy of derivative markets through sound regulation. The trick with digital assets is to foster the development of the exciting new products while mitigating potential risks. Yeah, that's not your call either. We must remember that how we regulate is just as important as what we regulate. That's why a principles-based approach is the best way to govern this emerging market. Yeah, you don't govern our market. We do. Principles-based regulation involves moving away from detailed prescriptive rules and relying more on high-level, broadly stated principles to set standards for regulating firms and products. Companies will then be responsible for finding the most efficient way of satisfying those standards. Such an approach affords greater flexibility to the tech sector. Yeah, stuff yourself in this mold. Yeah, that's giving us a lot of flexibility for innovation there, bro. It will also enable the CFTC to stay ahead of the curve by reacting more quickly to changes in technology in the marketplace. Dude, you are so fucking out of your depth here. A more principle-based approach can help reduce the need for volumes of regulations that seek to dictate every aspect of a firm's behavior. As Winston Churchill put it, if you make 10,000 regulations, you destroy all respect for the law. Yet Titles 12 and 17 of the Code of Federal Regulations, which together cover banking, securities, and derivatives regulation, now total over 13,000 pages. Oh, and I've sampled the taste of it. Most of what I read indicated that it was shit. Continuing. It is important to recognize that principle-based regulation is not a euphemism for deregulation or a light-touch approach. Far from it. Principles-based regulation is a different way of achieving the same regulatory outcomes as rules-based regulation. No, it isn't. The flexibility is being put on you, is what you're saying, to basically arbitrarily dictate, oh yeah, this one's in violation. Go fuck yourself, man. But it simply does so in what it is, in many cases, a more efficient and flexible manner. Yeah, whatever. That flexibility also prevents subversion of those outcomes through the kinds of loopholes that revealed the inherent vulnerability of rule-based regulation in the run-up to the financial crisis. No. You had an abandonment of rules-based regulation in the run-up to the financial crisis. That's what allowed the financial crisis to happen. Continuing. Of course, in practice, it is rare to have either a purely principle-based or purely rule-based regulation. Rather, they represent two ends of the regulatory spectrum. No, they don't. Every principles-based regulatory regime has some rules, and every rule-based regime has some element of principle. For this reason, we frequently see hybrid regulatory systems of principles and rules. The appropriate mix of each will depend on a number of factors, such as the regulatory objective, maturity of the market, the characteristics of the market participants, and the quality of the regulator. The regulator in this question, in this case, would be a representative of banks, and which is fine in fiat markets, but they have no business in cryptocurrencies. These are people's currencies. Continuing. Applying this analytic framework to digital assets and other fintech products leads me to conclude that we should take a predominantly principle-based approach in this area. Some issues that touch customer protection, the treatment of assets held by financial firms on behalf of customers, such as cash and securities held as margin, for instance, are generally more suited to a rule-based approach. Because there's the possibility of failure and theft. And there's accountability to come into question here. However, I will say on this point, you guys are grossly negligent in actually applying the regulations that exist to the existing entrenched marketplace participants. Otherwise, Bitcoin wouldn't even be necessary. Continuing on. But overall, the CFTC staff is currently considering how the core principles applicable to exchanges, venues where derivatives trades are executed, and clearinghouses, entities that take on and manage the post-trade counterparty credit risk, can be better tailored for fintech. We've already taken care of all that. We don't need you. For instance, core principles have been central to our evaluation of clearinghouses that would clear derivatives resulting in delivery of Bitcoin. Digital assets face the unique operational risk of a systems hack that could result in loss or theft. Our core principles include a requirement that clearinghouses have systems to identify and minimize operational risk. The CFTC does not have formulaic prescriptive rules laying out what systems are required. The agency also does not spell out how operational risks must be allocated between clearinghouses and its members and customers, yet derivatives clearinghouses are anything but lightly regulated. Actually, you know what? All you guys really need is sentencing recommendations for the type and severity of either a malicious act of theft or defrauding or something of that, or an accidental hack or data compromise. That's all you need. And you have to enforce it. Every fucking time you see your regulation being broken, you have to go down to that bank and you have to arrest that motherfucker. You have to go down to Goldman Sachs and yank that motherfucker out of his executive chair and drag his ass down to jail, just like any other fucking felon. That's what you need to do. Because otherwise, these motherfuckers think you're joking. Because in most cases, you actually are. These are just a bunch of word noises that you're putting on paper here with regard to how effective your office really is. I mean, really, I could stand in front of you and in a half an hour, you will know the difference between a cryptocurrency, a token, a blockchain, and a fucking live cryptocurrency out there, or some other bullshit token. You will fucking know the difference from it, and you will understand why. You have absolutely no fucking place in any of it. The only place that you have in anything in cryptocurrencies is where we interface with fiat currencies, and that is it. Because you are in charge of monitoring fiat currencies. And anything that dings the fucking integrity and resilience of the US dollar, that should be your sole fucking concern. Because that is yours to regulate. There are laws that say it and all that other shit. But no, you gotta fuck with everybody else's shit and act on behalf of banks. I'm telling you, the only place where the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, any of these people, Securities Exchange Commission, any of these people, the only place that they have any place to tell us anything is that interface between fiat currencies and cryptocurrencies. And on that point, they have to be managing their own actions and their own requirements and making sure that they aren't creating more risks to us than absolutely need to exist. And the fact of the matter is, when we're talking about cryptocurrencies, the only fucking thing you need to know is my email address and where to send the funds. And I can tell you that in real time. I can say, put it in this account, or I can have it a default account with you. And then again, that is a place where security is required, and it would be a place where sentencing recommendations would be required for people who allow that shit to be hacked. See, this is my feeling on a whole regulatory aspect with regard to cryptocurrencies, is if you're going to be concerning yourself with our safety, do so. It's never been easier. You already have all of the apparatus available to determine where the packets are being sent, where they're being sent from, what address they're being sent from. You have all of that shit. So then the question becomes, which customers, which users are you wanting to protect here? Are you trying to protect a small little cabal of bankers and their little interest pools throughout the economy, or are you trying to protect the American people or people of other nations where they're doing business with American persons or persons within America? I don't know how to categorize that one, but take account for our participation in that commerce, and again, the interface between cryptocurrencies and fiat currencies is where to maintain. That's the thing to worry about. Don't worry about the derivatives. Don't worry about the vehicles that we're doing shit in. You've completely lost the plot on that. You want to worry about shit? Worry about the liquidity that the exchanges have. Worry about the liquidity that the banks have and the clearinghouses have. But again, concentrating on the coins themselves or the vehicles, the digital assets, it's a complete fucking waste of time. Complete and total waste of time. The fact of the matter is that these regulatory entities, their job has never been easier. If they wanted to, quote unquote, protect us, They got some 16-year-old kid who sits in front of a fucking computer and has a bunch of feeds from live blockchains going on. He's watching Blockchain Explorers, and he's looking on social media and shit, and he's doing his thing, whether that be trading or whatever. And when he sees something aberrant, he follows it up. And I mean, the tools are so transparent and available in cryptocurrencies for us to find this shit out. I mean, we're talking about a hack that happened, 8 days ago on Monero. There is nothing in the U.S. government short of a direct attack on a military base or military person. There's nothing that has that level of issue to response. I mean, like, there isn't anything that has that level of response and depth. I mean, they probably had the whole thing isolated within 2 hours, and we're only hearing about it now 8 days later because we're not Monero users. Or if you are a Monero user out there, you probably already knew about this shit. But the point being that you have never had that kind of access or that kind of transparency with any financial medium you have ever used or invested in. If you invested in Apple stock, you couldn't tell every single little thing that was going on. Not in Apple, on Apple's machines, on their networks. But you can verify that shit on a cryptocurrency network. Shit, you can even be part of one. And again, that level of control has not been yours for a long time. Shit, you can even fork a coin. You don't even need to talk to these guys about it. But again, the CFTC and regulatory entities of the U.S. government and other governments out there, the places they need to worry about things are like stable coins. Okay? Stable coins should be their focal point. Because again, it's a threat not to cryptocurrencies. I mean, it is to some extent, but it's a limited game on our side of the match. Where it really counts is the effects on the fiat currency it's representing in our markets. And at the moment they can distort shit, but at some point or another, somebody's going to lose access to their banking. They're going to have some sort of run. People are going to want their money. And they're not going to get their money. And then the jig will be up. I've seen it before. It's happened a lot. I mean, if you've been involved in this space, you've seen it multiple times. So, it wouldn't be anything new to see multiple stable coins that are interlinked have issues. Because there are a few of them that are interlinked. Anyway, let's go ahead and throw back down into some music. And where to go? I know, we haven't played this one in like forever. Rio Grande Blood by Ministry here on Coin Metal. And that was Fear Factory with Regenerate. And it is with that I'd like to draw this episode to a close. Thank you very much for listening. Certainly do appreciate the support. We will be back again on Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Although I'm not entirely completely out just yet. Normally I just close that one out, but we got a little bit of time left. It's just a little. But I had this little title up here, this article on CoinDesk, and I don't know if we're actually going to get into it. Because their new layout for their website makes things very, very confusing. Policy and regulation. Here we go. I don't like this new layout. I think they've probably had an issue with their Illustrator or something that, it looks like shit. Anyway, I got this thing. It's by Daniel Palmer, and I don't know how much further beyond the title of it we're going to get, but check this out. Too early to tell if Libra is a security, CFTC chairman says. Alright. Yeah, here we go. Heath Tarbert, yeah, here we go. Speaking at CNBC at the sidelines of the CME Group Global Financial Leadership Conference on Tuesday, Tarbert addressed the current U.S. regulatory stance on cryptocurrencies and blockchain and the nation's global position regarding the technology. While CNBC originally stated that Tarbert claimed Facebook's Libra is a security, the headline was changed after publication. Rather, Tarbert only contrasted Bitcoin, which the CFTC has classified as a commodity, with Libra in terms of its current stage of development. Bitcoin has been around 10 years as well as understood, and the CFTC is able to classify that not as a security but as a commodity, he said. Libra, on the other hand, is fundamentally a different product, but currently in a state of flux. Libra is developing, and there are a bunch of unanswered questions, and also the way that it's structured, linking the set of national currencies, is a very different product, he said. Yeah, okay, so here we go. Right here. It's a very different product because it is linked directly to a set of national currencies. This makes it a fucking security. It's denominated in US dollars. US dollars are supposedly part of the collateral for it. It is a security. It has a distinct issuer, Libra. They determine the rate of issuance, the policy on it, all that other shit. They are a fiduciary, so it is a security. Yeah. See, that's why I say these people have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. They're way out of their depth, and they really have no business talking about anything with regard to cryptocurrencies other than possibly securities that are derivatives, because they already manage derivative markets, and of course securities such as stablecoins. And it is with that I'd like to close out this episode. Sorry about that. I had to step back and just touch on that one, given the nature of the material we covered today. And so for our last dance, let's go with this one. Crowbar, Like Broken Glass. Last dance here on Coin Metal. Thank you again for listening, and you all have an excellent evening. Good night.